Hey everyone! So in 2025, I reread my Lord of the Rings series, and so I wanted to talk about it. So it was a wonderful read through. I had a couple of surprises along the way. The biggest one was that The Hobbit wasn't quite as wonderful as it was last time. I don't know why this is. Maybe I just wasn't in a good mood or something. But it used to be my favorite book of all time. So it was kind of surprising that I didn't really enjoy it quite as much for this read through as before. So I might next read through just do the trilogy and skip The Hobbit and then wait a little bit longer to reread it, just so that's a little fresher and then I can really enjoy it. Um, the next surprise was that it really wanted me to go, really made me want to go back to the Silmarillion, which is kind of funny. I read one third in the Silmarillion and then it just got too much. Basically, it's pretty history bookish. So I had to take a break, and now I'm not really sure when I'm gonna go back to it, but I will eventually, obviously. But rereading this definitely made me want to go back. But I have so many amazing books to read. This is the problem. Is when it's kind of like history bookish, it's kind of hard to make it a priority, if that makes sense. Um, the Scouring of the Shire was the next surprise. I really enjoyed it this read through. I feel like last time it kind of dragged and it felt kind of long. But I was actually kind of interested to see what in the Scouring of the Shire had I forgotten about and all that stuff. Really, in general, this whole read through, the stuff that stuck out to me was the stuff that wasn't in the movies, and I really enjoyed that stuff a lot because it's not quite as fresh in my brain, which is really, really fun. So the whole time I'm reading, I'm like, what was not in the movies? And I'm like trying to remember what was not in the movies. I really like the order better in the books too. It has a lot more suspense, so even if you know, obviously I know what happens. This is like my third something read through or something. But it just feels more suspenseful even if you know what's going to happen when you're not with Frodo for so long and all the characters are like, oh my goodness, like, is he dead? I actually really like that a lot, because there's that suspense and Frodo doesn't know that Gandalf's alive and that kind of thing. I just really enjoyed that in the read through, just the suspense, and it reminds you that book characters in books don't know what's going on in other places. Just like the Wheel of Time series, people just don't know what's going on in other places, so it's really like accurate for them to be like, Frodo died, that kind of thing. So I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the ending because it is quite different from the books, not just the Scouring of Shire, but other stuff too. And it just was very satisfying this time, and I'm not really sure what makes it different this time than last time. But it was just very satisfying, basically. And um, let's see, I definitely like went through them quicker this time too, so I feel like the pacing didn't feel like it was dragging because I was just so motivated to get through them. And I read quicker, and I definitely read quicker than I did last time I read these. So I really enjoyed that. So it just felt quicker and felt more well paced, even though in my brain I know technically these are not the best well paced books, but they felt really well paced because I read quicker now. If that makes any sense at all, let me know if it doesn't. But I really, really enjoyed them. I don't know if you've read Lord of the Rings, or if you just watched the movies, but they're very special and very wonderful. And I feel like a lot of people nowadays, um, they just like see them as old fashioned and they don't see the value in them. So please read The Lord of the Rings if you haven't already. Yeah, the language might be a little hard, but I feel like that's actually really good for your brain to kind of challenge yourself. And I think it's just, there's so much value and meat in them, and the themes are so beautiful. So yeah, highly recommend, even if you've watched the movies. to read The Lord of the Rings. So that was my read through. It's gonna be a bit until I read them again. Same with Harry Potter. I'm just gonna take a break from those kinds of things because there's a lot of single novels that I would really like to reread, and I'm also rereading Wheel of Time right now, which is kind of a lot. But yeah, so it's gonna be a while, and I'm gonna miss it a lot. I'll try to watch the movies just to kind of get that out of my system and reread stuff like Pride and Prejudice and Wheel of Time. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye.